Namaskar, good morning. You are watching Rajya Sabha television. I am Smriti Rastogi with Today in Parliament. Let's begin the bulletin with the headlines. Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad to move Constitution 126th Amendment Bill for passing in the Rajya Sabha. Bill seeks to extend reservation to SCs or STs in LS and assemblies. Union Minister Arjun Munda to move Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order's Second Amendment Bill listed for passing in the Upper House. Bill aims to further amend Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order 1950. And in the Lok Sabha, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill listed for introduction. Central Sanskrit University's Bill and Anti-Maritime Piracy Bill listed for passing. And let's begin with a look at the legislative business in Rajya Sabha today. Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad will move the motion for reference of the Personal Data Protection Bill 2019 to Joint Committee. The members of the Rajya Sabha nominated to serve on the said Joint Committee are Bhupendra Yadav, Suresh Prabhu, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Ashwini Vaishnav, Jairam Ramesh, Vivek K. Tankha, Derek O'Brien, A. Navneeta Krishnan, Ram Gopal Yadav and Amar Patnaik. Meanwhile, two bills are listed for consideration and passing in the Upper House. Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad will move the Constitution 126th Amendment Bill 2019 for consideration and passing. It aims to further amend the Constitution of India. The bill seeks to extend the reservation in legislatures by 10 years. A bill to extend the reservation for SCs and STs in the Lok Sabha and state assemblies by 10 years was passed by Lok Sabha on Tuesday. The reservation given to SCs, STs and Anglo-Indian community for the past 70 years is due to end on January 25th, 2020. And apart from this, Arjun Munda will move the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order's Second Amendment Bill 2019 for consideration and passing. It aims to further amend the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order 1950 to modify the list of the scheduled tribes in the state of Karnataka. And for more inputs, we'll go across to our correspondent Kriti Mishra, who's joining us live from the Parliament premises. A very good morning, Kriti. After marathon debate in the Rajya Sabha on the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2019 yesterday, the bill has now been passed by the Parliament. And among the various important legislations listed on the agenda today is the Law Minister moving the Constitution 126th Amendment Bill 2019 for consideration and passing. How is the day's agenda expected to pan out?
Very good morning, Smriti. As you've mentioned that yesterday we saw the passage of Historic Citizenship Amendment Bill from the Rajya Sabha, and talking about day's agenda, there's very important item listed on day's agenda, which is sending the Personal Data Protection Bill, which is a first step, a very imperative step towards ensuring right to privacy. That would be sent to the joint panel of Parliament, and that particular motion will be moved in the upper house by Electronics and Information Technology Minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad. And you've mentioned another important bill, which is the Constitution 126th Amendment Bill that seeks to provide for extension for SCs and STs reservation in Lok Sabha as well as legislatures. And also there's appropriation number 3 bill that has to be returned to the Lok Sabha. Remember, this has already been passed by the Lok Sabha, and the government has sought additional appropriation of funds from Consolidated Fund of India, both on capital as well as revenue accounts. The government has also said that it will infuse equity in IDBI and also state-run insurance companies. So these are the important bills that are listed for consideration and also passage as well as appropriation bill for return in the Rajya Sabha today. Over to you, Smriti.
Right, Kriti, you stay on with us. We'll come back to you for more inputs on Lok Sabha as well, where the legislative business for today includes the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2019, which is listed for introduction. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will introduce the bill to further amend the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. Two bills are listed for consideration and passing. HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank will move the Central Sanskrit University's Bill 2019 for consideration and passing. Bill aims to establish and incorporate universities for teaching and research in Sanskrit to develop all-inclusive Sanskrit promotional activities. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will move the Anti-Maritime Piracy Bill 2019 for consideration and passing. Bill aims to make special provisions for repression of piracy on high seas and to provide for punishment for the offence of piracy. And apart from this, a further discussion under the Rule of 193 on crop loss due to various reasons and its impact on farmers will also be taken up. Member Suresh Korikunil had started the discussion on 5th of December 2019. And coming back to you, Kriti, with just 2 days left for the conclusion of the winter session of the Parliament, heavy legislative agenda is listed in the Lok Sabha for the day. What is expected from today?
Well, Smriti, yesterday we saw the Cabinet gave nod to Insolvency and Bankruptcy Second Amendment Bill that seeks to further streamline the process of insolvency and to ensure ease of doing business. So that is an important bill that will be introduced in the Lok Sabha today. As we've mentioned, there's Central Sanskrit University's Bill 2019 that will be taken up for consideration and passage. But there's a very important bill that will be taken up for consideration and passage, which is the Anti-Maritime Piracy Bill 2019 by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. Remember, Smriti, till now we did not have a separate indigenous legislation to deal with the piracy at seas, and also we've seen the Gulf of Aden that separates Somalia from Yemen, the spurt of activities from Somalia since 2008, and also the fact that due to heavy naval presence, those activities have moved southwards and eastwards, and particularly affecting the coast towards the western side of India. So this is a very important bill that would be taken up in the Lok Sabha today, and the discussion on crop loss under Rule 193 would resume, where the members would voice concern over the crop loss of the farmers due to unseasonal rainfall and also hailstorm and dust storms, and also will seek compensation from the government to the farmers. So very important legislative agenda as far as the Lok Sabha is concerned. Over to you, Smriti.
Absolutely, Kriti. So there, just as you mentioned, important legislative agenda listed on the agenda of both the houses of the Parliament. Thank you so much, Kriti, for joining us and giving us all those inputs from there in the Parliament. And following ministers will lay papers on the table in the Rajya Sabha today. Ravi Shankar Prasad for the Ministry of Law and Justice and Ministry of Communications. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank for the Ministry of Human Resource Development. Smriti Zubin Irani for Ministry of Textiles. Dharmendra Pradhan for the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Rajkumar Singh for the Ministry of Power. And members will present the reports on the Committee on Subordinate Legislation. Members will present a 156th report of the committee on the petition praying for strengthening and effective implementation of the POCSO Act 2012. Members will present the 311th report of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Human Resource Development on Khelo India scheme. Members will lay on the table reports of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Agriculture as well. Members will lay on the table the reports of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Chemicals and Fertilizers. Members will lay on the table the first report of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs on the demands for grants of the Ministry of External Affairs for the year 2019-20. Members will lay on the table statement of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs showing action taken by the government on the observations contained in the 18th report, 16th Lok Sabha of the Committee of External Affairs. And members will lay on the table of the second report of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Railways on demands for grants 2019-20 of the Ministry of Railways. Members will lay on the table reports of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Social Justice and Empowerment. Members will also lay on the table the first report of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Urban Development on demands for grants 2019-20 of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And members will lay on the table the statement of the Committee of Public Accounts showing action taken by the government on the recommendations on the working of CBFC and SRFTI. Members will lay on the table the first report of the Committee on Welfare of Other Backward Classes. And Dhotre, Sanjay Shamrao to make a statement regarding status of implementation of observations contained in the 60th report of the department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on IT on setting up of the Post Bank of India as a payments bank pertaining to the Ministry of Communications. And that's all we have for you in this edition. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.